slap me again and I'll break your arm.
Emma's a pimp!
Wait until the Reaper takes my life.
Lucky for you, you are right where you need to be. So sit back, relax, and turn up the volume on your streaming device. Johnny Ballgame, Sir Poops-a-Lot, and the Fantasy Reaper are about to deliver humor and fantasy gold at the same time. Crush your opponent with a smile. It's Fantasy Sports Island.
Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Island. Welcome, Tony Sir Poops-a-Lot.
Who? Where is... Oh, hey, what's going on?
How's it going, Tony? How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Doing a lot of drafting this week. It's been a blast.
We just finished the draft, as a matter of fact. We'll get to that in just a second.
Yep.
Welcome, Johnny Ballgame.
What's up? How's everybody?
I'm good. How about you, John?
Man, I'm so good, dude. So freaking good.
So John had an excellent last 2 days. We had 2 drafts. John got pretty much exactly what he wanted. Did you not?
I did pretty good. I will say I got a lot of players that I talked about. I was surprised that I didn't get sniped more, but yeah, that was good. Good couple days.
Johnny Ballgame did the sniping, folks. Let me tell you. He sniped the Fantasy Reaper.
A couple of times, but that was not on purpose. Let's just say that.
No, of course. We just think alike. So, all right, guys. Tonight we got a good show. We're going to finish up with our breakdowns of each division with the AFC West. It's our last one. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Then we're going to talk about some risers and fallers in ADP, people that are going crazy for certain guys like Damian Pierce, and then other guys that are falling far in drafts like Jalen Waddle. And we're going to explain like if we think it's justified or not. So that should be fun. And that's going to be it. We're going to keep it short tonight. So you guys ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about some news and some headlines. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Damian Pierce show in Houston because they cut Mac. Now they brought him back to the practice squad for now, but them cutting Mac signifies that it's the Damian Pierce show. So John, what do we think? Is Damian Pierce an RB1 now?
For sure. Here's the thing. He's a 3-down back. I mean, I know they got Burkett, but Burkett, let's face it, he was past his prime 3 years ago. So Burkett might come in for some receiving yards, but I don't see them getting Pierce off that field. That guy's got an energy, runs with anger. Gosh, I really like him. I got him yesterday on the draft, by the way, so I really like him.
And Tony, I know you like Pierce too. What do you think? Is he an RB1?
Love him. Absolutely. I got him as an RB2 in that first draft I had the other night. Some of the guys laughed at me.
They're not laughing anymore.
Dude, I mean, come on, watch him. Watch him. He looks amazing. Everybody knows he's an RB1 now.
Okay. Yeah. Tony, you had a little nugget you want to tell us about. I think it was Hollywood Brown. Something happened to him again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know all the details. It's funny, but I was reading this morning that I think he's been picked up 3 times for going over 100 miles an hour. And he's admitting that he's wrong and this and that, but this doesn't look good, mainly because of, what happened in Las Vegas last year. It's dangerous. He's a grown man. He's could harm himself and others, let alone just, repercussions to the NFL. So I don't know what's going to happen to him, but he might, I don't know. It's going to come up. It's just speeding, but it's dangerous speeding. So we'll see what happens.
It is possible he could get suspended for this at some point if he's going to continue to speed. So, it's crazy. We'll see what happens. We brought it up because for fantasy purposes, if he does get some sort of suspension, you have to keep that in mind when you're going into your drafts this weekend.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about Russell Wilson. He got an extension, a big one, 5 years, $245 million. Talk to me about that, John. Did Denver overpay for Russell Wilson or what?
I think they had him locked up already for 2 more years. Why not see how he does this year and then go pay him? Like, I don't get it. I swear, I don't understand what the rush was when he was already under contract for 2 years. So they just made it an extension and they got him now for 5 years, which is great. But is Russ really making that big of a difference? I mean, he must be unbelievable in the building. He must be unbelievable at practice. for them to make that kind of commitment when they didn't have to.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. What's the rush? Like, you pay him next year, like, right? If he has a good year this year and he's going into his final year of the contract, then you pay him. What if he tears his ACL or has some kind of career-threatening injury? Now you're on the hook for all that money. A lot of it's guaranteed. Yeah, I think it's a bad move. But as far as the annual money he's going to make, it's also super high. What is that? Almost $50 million a year. I would give that to Mahomes and Josh Allen, and that's it. I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson's on that tier anymore. Do you guys agree?
No, he's the second highest paid per season quarterback right now after Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson is not the second best quarterback in the league.
I agree.
He may surprise us this year. He may surprise us, guys. We'll see. But after he's not getting any younger, so.
All right, we'll see.
Make sure you see this face.
Oh, Johnny, we love your face, John. All right. Last bit of news I want to talk about was Robinson from the Commandos, who was the starting running back, and Gibson was on the special teams unit in preseason, and it was looking like this was Robinson's backfield. And then he got shot on an attempted carjacking. Apparently, he wrestled the gun away from the perpetrator, but he got shot in the ass a couple times in the process, and now he's going to miss part of the season. We don't know exactly how long, but what do we make of all this mess? Tony, what do you think?
Well, I didn't like the bullet hole that went through part of his knee. I mean, the doctor was saying there's nothing major or structural, didn't hit like a ligament or any bone, which is remarkable. But he has a great attitude. They said he's going to heal up. But I don't know. I don't know many people that get shot and then come back and play a week later. So it could take some time.
Yeah, and now it affects the backfield, which we'll get to later on the show. What I really want to know, John, is Robinson someone you stash in a draft, put him on the roster on your IR, and hold him for later in the season?
Yeah, they put him on the non-football injury list today, so they officially designated him, but I don't know how long they have to stay on that list. I don't think there's an amount of time. I think they can come up anytime they want. I mean, if you've got extra space, maybe you stash them. If you've got an injured reserve, some leagues have injured reserve where you can put somebody on there. Trouble is you'll have to drop somebody to put him on, then to put him on injured reserve, and then you'll have that spot back open, and hopefully you can pick him back up. But I don't know. Maybe. Here's what I want to know about the whole thing. Has anybody investigated Gibson? Because he lost a starting running back job, and now all of a sudden he's back to being a starting running back.
I mean, someone just happened to get shot in the ass right before the season starts.
Or he couldn't see him because he was in the back. All I'm saying. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to, but
nobody's looking at Antonio Gibson, folks. These are the nuggets you get on the Fantasy Sports Island. All right.
He might get suspended because he may have shot somebody. That's all I'm saying. Good luck drafting him. Enjoy yourself.
All right. All right. Let's go on to go ahead.
Can I just say this though? I don't think he is the one who shot him because he would have fumbled the gun. You know what I
mean? That's true. That's true.
I didn't make myself laugh on that one.
Slow clap for Johnny Ballgame, folks. That was
Hey-o.
good. That was really good. And a low blow.
That's his evidence that he didn't do it.
Now can we talk about the AFC West?
Yes.
Thank you.
AFC West Fantasy Breakdown.
AFC West Fantasy Breakdown. Let's break down the best division in football, the most fun division in football, the offensive division of football. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Denver Broncos. That is your predicted order of finish by Vegas, but who really knows how this is going to play out? We'll start with the Chiefs, John. Let's talk about the Chiefs. I'm going to let you do this. Tell me what's not to like of the Chiefs, but go ahead.
All right. Well, they've got a quarterback. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name's Patrick Mahomes. Pretty good. Irish fella. Patty Mahomes. But the real strength is in the backup quarterback, Chad Henne. So, make sure you get your shares of Chad Henne. No, Patrick Mahomes is still a genius. He's really only been in the league 6 years, played 5 of those 6 years. It seems like he's been playing forever, but he's still young, still got his legs, still got an unbelievable arm. The running backs, to me, I feel like that's the weak spot. Like Clyde Edwards, hell yeah, has never really gotten to where I think he should have. They got Ronnie Jones the second, but I've not heard that he's like tearing it up. Jerick McKinnon is just a guy. He's a jag. He can catch it out of the backfield and might, have a couple of good games. The guy that everybody seems to be talking about all of a sudden is Isaiah Pacheco, who's a kick returner running back. Got some speed, fast. He's actually bigger than everybody but one of their running backs. But pretty good. Pretty good. The receiver core, when you first look at it, you go, man, I don't know about this receiver core, but it's solid. It's got Nicole Hardman, who I actually think is going to step up this year. I think he's going to take it a little bit further than he has in the back. They've got the rookie Sky Moore, who looks every bit the part. I don't really know anything about Justin Ross. They got Juju. Juju to me is kind of like on the down slope. Like I don't think he's been that great for the last couple of years. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, though, is somebody I think could be a sneaky pick this year. I think he could end up winning some of that favor. They got another young kid named Justin Watson and Justin Ross, so they really like Justin's. On the tight end side, I don't know if you've heard of Travis Kelce, but that dude's pretty good. He's pretty fantastic tight end. Still one of the top 3 tight ends. Everybody keeps waiting for him to fall off. He's in his 10th year. He's 32 years old, so the age scares me a little bit. He's been injured and nicked up over the last couple of years, but he played football at the University of Cincinnati, and so I'm an Ohio fellow, and I like him for it. Defense to me is pretty good. You've got to get a team defense. You could do worse, but I wouldn't. Getting someone in this division is suicide, in my opinion. So,
Tony, is the hype real on Pacheco?
I think it is. Dude, the guy looks great. I don't know. He's not going to be out of the gate because of the guys in front of him, but I think by mid-season, man, he's going to get some more reps. We'll see him out there, but he's very talented.
I don't believe the hype. I think Pacheco is a good player and he'll be sprinkled in some. I think the guy to have in this backfield is still Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They drafted him a couple years back. He's been injured, but when healthy, he's been relatively productive. And I think they want to give him the first shot at this. And I think he's going to have a good comeback year. I do. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I've been trying to get him in those middle rounds in my drafts as an RB3. I think he's solid there. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a share of him in one of my leagues. I kind of went out on a limb and got him, and I'm hoping he pays off. So, and I got Nicole in one. So, yeah.
Juju has the degenerative knee problem. So, and he's been dealing with that in the preseason apparently, but he's going to be good to go week 1. Tony, I know you're a big fan of Juju. You're drafting him in all your drafts because you like him in that 5th, 6th round area. Tell me why you're not worried about the knee.
I'm just from the stuff that I was hearing originally out of camp. I don't think it's that bad. His ADP might be a little bit much, but I still like his hands. I still like some of the video I've seen or the film. And right now I'm having a little bit of faith in the local newspaper that talks about him and also the coaching staff. So he sounds good to go to me. Might be a slight risk, but I think he's going to be good. And he's still got great hands, you guys, old or not. The guy got a lot of receptions even with Roethlisberger. It's not that he's going to score a ton of points, but he might still have it and be able to do it with Mahomes.
It's really funny that you said old or not. He is not old. He's 25, and people forget that. They think he's been in the league. He's 25. When he was 21, guys, he had 1,400 yards receiving with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if the knee is healthy, he's a go-to type receiver, and Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. But I do worry about the knee. Who do we think is going to be the receiver to have in this core? Do we want Tony? You like Juju. What about you, John?
I like Hardman to step up this year. They still like that speed down the sides, and I think McColl's going to step up in his 4th year. He had 600 yards last year, like almost 50 catches, I think, something like that. I think this is the year he kind of puts it together, and I think he starts to step into that spot.
One guy that we haven't talked about enough yet is Sky Moore, the rookie they drafted. Sky Moore, I don't know if this year is going to be the year where he's the number 1 wide receiver, but man, in Dynasty, I'd like to have Sky Moore.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy to get in the later 10th, 11th, 12th round, because if he does, become the number 1 receiver, man, he's a stud. He's a stud. All right.
Didn't you take him in a draft, Tony, just recently? Did you take Sky?
Sky Moore, I just grabbed him a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Sleeper. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go back and check out the sleeper draft we just did. Tony did get Sky Moore, and he got him late, so it's a good pick.
Sure did.
All right. Let's move on to what Johnny wants to talk about, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. And we're all gonna talk about this guy, Justin Herbert. John, go ahead and tell me what you love about Justin Herbert.
What's not to love about that guy? I mean, seriously, like, he's laid back, he's competitive, he's got a cannon for an arm, way more mobile than anybody gave him credit for. He's just really all around good quarterback. And again, this is year 3. This is where I think he starts to really put it together. I think he's one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, and I don't think we've seen his best yet.
Glad you said that. Now I'm going to unveil something that I haven't talked about with you guys this year yet. He is my number 1 quarterback now. I want that guy. I think he's going to lead the league in points. That is my number 1, not Josh Allen. I've switched. I have switched because I did think it was Allen before. I want Justin Herbert. In fact, the weaponry.
I think Burrow's going to have a good year. Have I mentioned that?
Yeah, we know you like Burrow, and that's fine. I like Justin Herbert because the weaponry is ridiculous. You saw Keenan Allen running his routes. You got Mike Williams, the guy that'll go up and get it. You got who's the second year? Josh Palmer, kind of a guy that's breaking out. Reminds me a little bit of Gabe Davis, right? You still got your
Jalen Guyton too, who I think is a
Jalen Guyton, who don't forget about him. They've also added Sonny Michel today. They have Austin Eckler. I mean, they're loaded. This is why I like it. And they have such an aggressive coach. He'll go for it on 4th down all the time. You're getting so many opportunities for completions and yards. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I agree. I'm still kind of feeling Josh Allen because I think there's more to it than just the weapons. There's a passion there that I get really excited about when I watch the Bills. And like I said, they should have been in the Super Bowl, and they got some stuff to prove. But you're right, they're neck and neck. I understand that how much you like them, and yeah, they have a hell of a lot of weapons. But I think no matter what's going on there, you bringing up the coach and how aggressive they are, that could be the edge that you need if you were to choose somebody like Herbert. With that aggressive coaching style, is going to get you a few extra points. So it's a hell of a pick, but I still personally think I might like Josh Allen just a little bit more.
That's fine, but I like the value you get in drafts because all the drafts that I've been doing, I've noticed he's coming about 4th off the board for quarterbacks because everyone's taking Josh Allen and then they're taking Mahomes, and a lot of leagues like ours, Burrow's going. And so it's nice to get a little bit of value on the guy that I think would be number 1. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the backfield. Austin Eckler, he had 20 touchdowns last year. He's even been saying it. He needs to tone it down a little bit and get some rest in between some drives. So that's why they brought in Sonny Michel. Does that affect him in total touchdowns this year, John?
I think it does, because actually Sonny Michel is pretty good around the goal line. I was actually surprised they brought in Sonny Michel because Joshua Kelly's looked unbelievable in camp and in preseason. Isaiah Spiller's a rookie they really like. Sonny Michel I think is interesting. I just realized, did they no, that's on the Rams, never mind. I was looking for my funk, but that's a Ram. But yeah, I think the backfield I think is a little muddied for me. I've never been a giant Austin Eckler fan. I know he's going super early in drafts this year, but it's all based on touchdowns, and no one ever repeats that touchdown total. And he, until last year, and even got injured last year, but he's always been injured, missed a couple of games every season. So
yeah. And what do we think about Gerald Everett at tight end?
I personally feel that's a little suspect. He's still good, but that you know what? He's going to be a good red zone dude because they got so many wide receivers, great depth at running back, like Johnny was just saying. So, Everett could be, I still look at him as being a mediocre level guy. But yeah, I mean, he may get some touchdowns, but I don't see a tremendous amount of yards out of him. But that's the guy that they'll probably go to if they're struggling and they're in the red zone. You still got to watch out for him too.
Yeah, he's never quite done it in his career. He's teased a little bit, but he's never just broken through. He's a tight end too. And in a lot of drafts, you don't take a second tight end. So he's not being drafted in every draft. Mm-hmm. So just keep an eye on him though, because if he does put it all together, he's got a great quarterback that could work out. Is there anyone else on this team that we want to talk about? I kind of wanted to touch on Mike Williams. He had a bust out year last year. For about 8 weeks, he was, I think, wide receiver 1 or 2, right there with Cooper Kupp, and then fell off the wagon and he really faded. What do we expect from Mike Williams this year?
Well, I mean, if the team is smart, they're going to spread the ball around. So, again, going back to the fantasy standpoint of it, that makes it a little bit tough to make him, your number 1 or even your number 2. But it shows that he can score. It shows that he can catch the ball and they can use him. So if they're smart, they're going to be going back and forth. But that is a little bit risky. Keenan Allen, is going to be on the money. Mike Williams is going to be slightly suspect, but have him as, like a flex or a third wide receiver, definitely consider him for sure.
And I just want to say, if one of these two guys, Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, get hurt, I think Josh Palmer would be a fantastic pickup because I really do think he's in that breakout territory. I think it's his 3rd year. That's the year.
Just his 2nd year. He was a
second year. Even better. Love it. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here's my thing about Mike Williams, and I had him last year, and he did score for me for several weeks, and I was like, wow, this is finally the Mike Williams I thought we were going to get.
Yeah.
He's never put together an entire season.
No. He's
been in the league 6 years. Think of 1 year he's put it together for an entire season. I can't think of it.
Yeah, he gets hurt a lot too because he just doesn't care. He goes up and gets it. And
body everywhere.
Everywhere. He's like a rag doll, and that's he's going to get hurt most likely.
The big dude, 6'4", 220, but
he's a beast.
How old is he now?
27.
Yeah. 27.
Oh, yeah, he's done. Finished.
Yeah.
He's older than Juju. He needs to retire.
Yeah. Which is a surprise. If you would have asked me, I would have thought Juju was way older than Mike Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy.
Truth. All right. Let's talk about the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Still getting used to that. I want to talk about Derek Carr, Johnny, because Derek Carr has taken a lot of shit over the last several years, and I've been giving him just as much as everyone else. I feel like this is the year he's going to, be up there in the top 10, I think, because of Davante Adams coming over. Davante Adams is like an elite wide receiver. He's probably top 2, top 3 wide receiver. And I think it's going to help him a lot. Still got Waller, still got Hunter Renfrow. I like what they're doing in Oakland, Las Vegas. All right. Tell me what you think, John. Is Carr a top 10 quarterback?
Yes. There's just no doubt in my mind. I mean, that guy's thrown for 4,000 yards every season for the last 4 years. Last year, 4,800 is almost a 5,000. Nobody's talking about him. He's an almost 5,000-yard quarterback at a 68% completion rate with, I can't remember how many touchdowns, like the height, the
20s. Yeah, that's the problem. He never gets that elite amount of touchdowns. So he can do that with Davante Adams because Davante Adams
he had a year where he threw 32 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he's got it in him. He just hasn't really had the weapons around the goal line.
But we need him to get to 35 or 40. And
Davante's going to kill it.
I think so. I think this could be the year. Tony?
Well, I've been down on him. I think you guys know that. But I also don't think I've been completely fair. I think my attitude towards him was more about the NFL instead of just fantasy, because he doesn't seem like a winner to me. He throws a hell of a lot of yards, but he never finishes. But does that hurt your fantasy team if he's not strong in the playoffs? Absolutely not. So I'm trying to rethink, and I'm trying to give him more of a chance. With those weapons that he has now, absolutely. I did not like the dynamic with Waller last year. That kind of disappointed me, and Waller had some injuries. That kind of spooked me. So it's still a little bit up there for me, my famous last words. I wouldn't kick him out of bed. Is he a number 10 QB? Possibly, yeah. But I don't trust him.
You'd like him as your quarterback 2, not your quarterback 1.
Yeah, that's just me.
Fine. That's fair. John, try to make sense of this backfield for me. Like, what are you thinking in this backfield?
There's a lot of people still back there. Like, if you look at this depth chart, it's insane. It's still got. I didn't know Amir Abdullah was still in the league, but apparently he is, and apparently he's in Oakland or Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs is clearly the lead back. He's in his 4th year. I think Josh Jacobs is good. I think he's underrated. I think he does well. They got a rookie named Zamir White, who I like a lot. I think by next year will probably be their starting running back. I think he's going to be really good.
That's probably the plan.
Yeah, Brandon Bolden is a pass-catching running back, and I'd be surprised, honestly, if he continues to be on the team after a couple of weeks. I don't know Brenton Brown, and I don't know Sincere McCormick.
Yeah, those guys are just Jags. They're just Jags. But let's talk a little bit about Abdullah, who flashed with Detroit many years ago, and everyone jumped on the freight train, the hype wagon, and he disappointed. And he's been kind of disappointing his whole career, but he won the 3rd down job with the Raiders. He's going to play the James White role that New England used to have with Josh McDaniels, who's now in Vegas, and he's going to run his offense in a similar fashion. So that does give Abdullah some value in drafts, no?
Well, unless he uses Brandon Bolden, who he's more familiar with, who came over with him from New England.
But they've already announced that Abdullah is going to be the 3rd down guy.
No,
That's the word.
Yeah, maybe.
You're still not convinced.
No.
Yeah, I'm afraid this is just a clusterfuck. I believe that the first 2 downs, 1st and 2nd down, will go to Jacobs and sometimes Zamir White. So it's really hard to like anyone in this backfield, to be honest. Yeah. Anyone else?
Catch the ball too, by the way.
Yeah, Jacobs is. I think he's underrated. I think you're right, but they're done with him. This is his last year. They're going to move on to Zamir White. So maybe they like run him into the ground this year, but I just don't see it in a Josh McDaniels type offense. They love RBBCing. So,
yeah.
Anyone else on the Raiders we want to talk about?
Talked about Adams. He's pretty good.
I still like Renfro too.
Yeah, Hunter Renfro is probably going to be more kind of a slot guy now, which is probably more natural for him.
Yeah.
Does he get a lot of balls?
He's going to get balls.
Yeah. I mean, you know who he reminds me of in this offense? He's going to remind me a little bit of, Wes
Welker.
Welker. Thank you.
Edelman.
I think he's going to play that Welker Edelman role in this offense. In that case, I think he's got a lot of value.
Yeah.
So, I don't like any of the other backup receivers that much. Mac Hollins is just a guy. Ty Johnson, 3rd year, maybe he's a breakout this year. I think they thought he was going to be better.
Yeah.
DJ Turner is more of a kick returner than anything. So,
okay. All right. Good. All right. Last team in the AFC West, Denver Broncos. They go out, get Russ Wilson, bring him on over. I think they did well at quarterback because their quarterback play has been bad for many years since Peyton Manning left. It's been bad. There's no other way to put it. I think Russ solves a lot of things for them, mainly for Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. You like Jeudy, John. Tony and I think we like Cortland Sutton to blow up this year. Am I correct?
Mm.
Yeah. Tell me what you like, Tony, about Cortland Sutton.
What's there not to like? He's awesome. Man, to be honest, I like both of them. I still think Sutton, he's number 1. I still think he's going to get a little more looks. I like his hands much more. But dude, I like both of them. I'm just going with Sutton first. I'm excited to see this. I mean, come on, Russell Wilson still got it, dude. He's still really, really good.
Throws the best deep ball in the NFL.
Absolutely. I'm excited, man.
That's why I like Jerry Jeudy better.
Cortland Sutton's kind of like the DK Metcalf in that offense, whereas Tyler Lockett kind of feels like the Jeudy in that offense. But tell me why you like Judy, John.
He's got speed. I think they're gonna get him the ball in motion, right? Like so like hit him as he's in stride to get that guy open, because once he gets going, he's fast. He's just really fast. I think, like you said, Wilson throws one of the best deep balls in the league. Guess who can go and get really fast and go get that deep ball? Sure.
Right.
Sure, dude.
Yep.
Also, Tim
And,
Patrick out for a while, so
KJ Hamler steps in, and now he's the wide receiver 3. Typically speaking, in his career, Russell Wilson hasn't really supported a very good wide receiver 3. Maybe he just didn't have a good one. Do we think Hamler can be some kind of fantasy value?
meh.
Yeah, not really.
He'd be a guy in best ball you might have throw out on your lineup, because every now and then he'll have a big play, maybe a 50-yard touchdown. But from week to week, his consistency will probably be inconsistent. Is that fair to say?
Russell's never had a running game like he's about to have. Well, he hasn't had one in a while. When he had beast mode, he had it, and he didn't have a third down receiver then because he was running more. So
I was saving the best for last, John, because I like to talk to someone about Javonte Williams.
I do.
Yeah.
I was just saying that's why I don't think a third receiver is going to do much here.
Right. So let's talk about Javonte Williams. I think if the fantasy rooster wasn't there, okay, I think he's a top 5, maybe top 3 running back. He's that good. He's that talented. But we have to factor in the fantasy rooster, Gordon, who is going to take some carries, whether it's 70-30, 60-40, whatever it is. It takes away from Javonte's prospects in the fantasy world. But I still think he's a top 10 running back. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yep. So does everybody else right now.
Okay. Now, I've heard that even though Javonte is a good pass catcher, I've heard that Gordon is going to kind of be more in that role than Javonte, which is weird to me. I just don't understand the need to play Gordon so much. Do you?
No, unless they're just trying to rest Javonte so they don't completely wear him down, but I don't get it. I was really surprised they re-signed him.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, you might be right. It's just like, hey, let's do a little bit of the committee thing. We have a tremendous running back, so let's not wear him out. I don't know.
Here's my gut on the situation and why I'm drafting Javonte in a lot of leagues. He's going in the second round, which is, you can get him as your RB2, but I think it's going to be a 70-30 split. That's my best guess. Whereas he'll get the first 2 series and then maybe Gordon will come in and spell him. But the explosiveness, the pass catching, the long run ability, the juke ability, the one cut and go ability, it's superior for Javonte Williams. And I also think Gordon's getting up there in age. I think he's going to get hurt. And when he does, Javonte is top 5. That's my gut. Yeah. What do you think, John?
Yeah, Gordon's 29. It's been in the league for 8 years. Seems older than that. Like when you watch him run, he's still got some power, but he's not the nimble guy he was when he was with the Chargers. And even his first year with the Broncos, he was still pretty good. But you're right. He's getting up there. He's got a lot of miles.
The juice isn't there anymore. Javonte's got the juice. Talent wins out. Cream rises to the top. That's what I'm thinking. It's very similar in New York with the Jets, with Breece Hall. I feel like the cream will rise to the top. I don't care who they name as the starter. When it's all said and done, it will be Breece Hall. And in Denver, it will be Javonte Williams. That's my opinion. All right. We'll leave it at that. Is there anyone else? Let's talk about the tight ends. We haven't talked about them. Albert O. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't feel like it. It's a tough name. But we like Albert O, right? Especially now that the second tight end they have is injured. So Albert O gets a go. He gets first crack at it. But Russell Wilson doesn't really throw to the tight end much. Does that change in Denver, John?
I mean, he had a year where he threw to, what's his face? Went up with Chicago.
Graham?
Who? Graham. Jim Graham. Yeah, he had a year where he threw a bunch to him. But that's really the only tight end he's ever supported at all. I like Albert O, but again, he's 4th mouth on the feeding order. So, yeah.
Maybe 5th.
Maybe 5th, yeah.
Yeah, good point.
I think it's Oklahoma, by the way.
Good. Very good, John. I'm glad you did it and I didn't have to. I don't think he's draftable, right? He's a tight end 2, a deep tight end 2. So, but keep an eye on him on the waiver wire, Tight ends suck. And once we get into the season and you start seeing them fall and not do shit, people are going to start looking for other guys to go to. Maybe Alberto emerges. We'll find out.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Tony, anybody else on the Broncos you want us to talk about?
No. I don't think there's anything significant.
Yeah, there's no one else that's draftable on this team. So we've done our due diligence. We have finished our breakdowns of every division. You can go back and watch any video of any division. We've done them in separate videos, all 6 divisions. So go back and check that out. Actually, 8 divisions. All right.
ADP risers and fallers.
Let's move on. Let's talk about some ADP risers and fallers to wrap up tonight's show. I want to talk about some guys that are just like skyrocketing up the boards now or going down the other way. And we got to start with Damian Pierce, John, because Damian Pierce, even though he's like skyrocketing up draft boards and he's going from like the 9th round to like the 7th and some drafts even the 6th and the 5th, that's not good enough, John, right?
No. I mean, as of 3 days ago, that guy's going in the 2nd and 3rd round. I mean, it's insane to me. It's crazy. I don't remember seeing a meteoric rise like that in a long time. I'm trying to even think of somebody that I saw. He does. I've told you guys, gives me Edgerrin James vibes. Underused running back coming out of the state of Florida. Got some question marks. 3 down back, can catch the ball, runs hard, runs with a chip on his shoulder. I think 9 running backs were taken before this guy. Something like that. I can't remember. I read something like that today. Good running back, man. I'm really excited about him.
Yeah. Here's what happened with our league. So we talk every day, the 3 of us, and Royce too. And we started talking up Damian Pierce. We all love him. And I think, I realized, well, shit, these guys are going to take Pierce in the 4th round, so I better try to get him in the 3rd. And then John was probably thinking, well, shit, Chuck's going to take him in the 3rd. I better get him in the 2nd before it gets to the turn. And all of a sudden, he's a 2nd round pick. And I don't think it's crazy, man. I think he's an RB2 at the minimum. Could be RB1 because he is the only guy in town, like you said, in Houston, and they love him. He's explosive. He's not worn out because he didn't get a lot of carries in college. I think he's good to go. So I think when it's all said and done, ADP, he'll be in the 3rd round for most drafts. What do you think?
He's a 3 down back, and that's rare right now. Like the bell cow back, that they go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then after that, we don't have those. So the fact that he is that back, and like you said, there's no competition. He's the only game in town. No, I love it.
So Tony, we got one more draft together that we're all doing. Where the hell is Damian Pierce going to go in that one?
Well, I mean, if
first overall,
it depends. I mean, right now, he is number 7 or number 8 in the running back list.
Wow, that's high.
And that was just as of this morning, really. But yeah, I grabbed him 3 nights ago pretty quick. He gets better every day. I mean, listen, but you guys know me too. I'll take a rookie sometimes as my 1st or 2nd running back for sure. I mean, look how Najee has more of a track record. Look how quickly he went last year. The past 6 to 7 years, somebody has drafted a rookie pretty damn quickly. A rookie running back, that is. So why not him, especially when you're saying he's the bell cow? Kid's awesome, dude. He's awesome.
Let's play a game. I want to find out where we take him in the pecking order. All right, John, I know you're not going to take him over Derrick Henry, McCaffrey, Taylor, Eckler, Najee, Dalvin, and Joe Mixon. Those guys you're definitely not taking.
I might take
Pierce.
him over Eckler.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I wouldn't, but I get it.
I don't believe in Eckler, and I think he's going to I just don't have I have a negative Johnny Ballgame gut feeling about him this year.
All right. Tell me, would you take Pierce or Nick Chubb?
Pierce.
Would
Absolutely.
you take Javonte or Pierce?
I'm going to have to take Javonte. I know he's splitting a little bit, but I'd have to take Javonte.
John?
Yeah. You know what? I would take Pierce only because he doesn't have to split carries.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift or Pierce?
Swift.
To split character, but Swift is going to have to split carries with Jamal Williams.
I love Swift though. Damn.
I do too.
I
But
think
he's
the
also
line
got
is.
injured.
I think the line is coming up here with Kamara, right? We take Kamara.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's like the 9th running back off our board, 10th if you want to put Javonte above him, and for John at minus Eckler. So 9, 10. That's what we're saying his value is. Okay, and you're going to take him in the 4th or 5th round. Bullshit, right? You better take him in the 2nd or 3rd round if you want this guy, because I'm telling you, by the time you draft next week, right before the season starts, he's going in the 2nd and 3rd round, folks. You heard it here first.
In the league tonight, you saw my buddy Ben took him number 2, right? His second
This is RB2. Yeah.
Ben isn't half as knowledgeable as us. He plays the sleeper league. He doesn't play in it. He's a huge hockey fan. He knows the value. He knows the talent of Pierce. And I didn't inform him of it. Not that I know everything, but he's hearing enough that he took him as his second pick. There's something there.
Great. All right, let's talk about a faller. I don't know why he's fallen all of a sudden, but he is. He went in the 7th round in our draft, and that's Jalen Waddle. I don't understand why he's falling in drafts. Why, John? Tell me. Is it justified?
There's a fellow named Tyreek Hill, who I think you've heard of. He's pretty good. And there is a disbelief in Tua. And so that's why he's falling. I don't think it's a smart fall. Like, I think he's going to actually have pretty much almost as much points as Tyreek this year. I think whoever gets him in the 7th round, super lucky. That's the best value, maybe in the draft, if you get him in the 7th round.
Let's not forget that Tua was throwing to Waddle in college, and he loves Waddle. He hit him 100 times last year in his rookie year. Do we think that's going to stop just because Tyreek Hill came? No. You can support 2 top 24 wide receivers on this team with Tua. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Waddle's still a top 24.
We're going to double Tyreek.
Yeah.
We're going to leave Waddle single coverage.
One-on-one.
With a quarterback who knows him, with the kind of speed and slipperiness that guy has. I think that's a great draft if you get him in the 7th round.
Right. And, let's be real. He had no protection last year. No one on the other side that could, take the lid off the defense or demand a double team. They were focused on Waddle, and he caught 100 balls anyways.
That's true.
Right? Come on now. He can do it again. He's going to at least catch 100 balls. And you're going to pick him in the 7th? No, you're not. Come on. Let's be real.
Get it back to Gesicki.
Yeah.
I mean, Gesicki's a guy, but, that's fine.
Fine.
I don't think Gesicki factors into whether or not Waddle is going to have a good year. You know what I mean? All right.
And they were
Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
I said they were trying to trade Gesicki anyway, as like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Another Dolphin that's rising up the draft boards, Chase Edmonds. I want to talk about Chase Edmonds. Is it that clear cut that Chase Edmonds is the starter and Raheem Mostert is the backup? Because I haven't heard that. I think Mostert is still the starter and Chase Edmonds is the pass catching back. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it justified for Chase Edmonds to rise up 2-3 rounds in your draft, Tony?
Well, I mean, like I said a few weeks ago, he does have the contract. They're paying him a good amount of money to bring him in, so they're going to utilize him. And if you look at some of his stats, he's not an exciting player, but he is sneaky good. He does perform. But I think they're going to be better off running both of those guys. So yeah, if he's the pass catcher, yeah, I mean, I still think he's a great pick, but I don't know, where is he going again? I forget, what were you saying? Like, what? I mean, what's his?
Well, now he's up to like he's going in like the 6th, 7th round now, whereas before he was going 9th, 10th. So he's gone up 2-3 rounds.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not opposed to that, honestly. I think he can do it. So
all right,
I like it.
All right, let's talk about another faller. And this one's weird because there are some situations that I can understand, but we're talking about the frickin' GOAT, Tom Brady was in our league last year, quarterback 1. And in a lot of leagues, he outperformed ADP by a lot last year. Let's be real. And now this year, he's going under the radar. He's being taken off the board as the 9th, 10th quarterback. Are you shitting me? Are we going to do this again and doubt Tom Brady, John?
We are. We're going to doubt him again. We're probably going to get fed our behinds again.
Yeah.
There's too much weirdness around Tampa this year. I don't believe in him. I don't. I think he lost the center. What's the best way to get to Tom Brady? Blitz him up the middle. It's not very good. He's got 2 receivers who are hurt. He's got an old receiver for his number 3 receiver. I'm not even sure he's the number 3 receiver at this point, but Julio is there. He's without his tight end security blanket. He's 108 years old. I mean, I think there are some reasons to start to let the seeds of doubt creep in your brain and go, logically, there's no reason I should draft this guy.
And then he'll go ahead and throw the ball 700 times for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Yes.
Of course.
Probably.
One thing I could say this year, is a tad bit different because of the rumors and the drama that we've been hearing coming out of that camp. And he has had some emotional or mental challenges in the past, like coming back from a knee injury, issues with possibly New England and Belichick switching teams, whatever. But that's the stuff where you got to step up, and he's able to do it. He is the GOAT. But we're hearing rumors about some stuff going on in his personal life. That's a completely different monster. We don't know what he's capable of doing, what he's able to overcome. But that kind of drama in his personal life makes me even more nervous if this stuff is going on. Yeah. Those personal things can really mess up your game. So all the other challenges of getting older, banged up players, so on and so forth, and some personal issues, this could definitely be the year that he goes.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm with you.
We'll see. He always comes through. So,
all right, let's talk about Antonio Gibson. Whether he shot Robinson in the ass or not, he was going in later than the 10th round in most drafts, and now he's going 5th, 6th round because everyone just assumes, all right, Robinson's out of the picture, Gibson gets his job back. All is well. But does he? John?
Probably. But I think they'll go to McKissick a lot in the passing game. Man, I don't like I made the joke earlier. He's fumbled the gun if he did try to shoot him, but he's got talent.
Yeah,
He's a fast kid. He can run tough. They were talking about using him like McCaffrey 2 years ago. So just can't hold on to the ball and can't get out of the coach's doghouse.
Right.
But he'll be the guy. There's nobody else.
There really isn't, but I feel like they're going to find someone off the street or something to take the load off of him. They don't trust him. He fumbles in key situations. He doesn't hit the hole every time like they want. I feel like they're out there looking right now. They might make a trade. I just don't trust Gibson. I don't feel like he's going to be able to produce the type of numbers you think you're going to get taking him in the 5th round. Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. You can't trust him. He would be like a flex player that you'd put in when they're playing a crappy defense. He's not reliable. He does have some talent. We saw what was his rookie season. He looked fantastic, but he should be getting better, and he's not. He has had some injuries, but he's too risky. Like I said, flex player.
I'd take a shot on Trey Sermon. Kid was amazing in college. He was obviously in the doghouse. Got let go from San Francisco. Young kid, still got fresh legs. I'd take a shot at him.
Great point, John. That was exactly who I was thinking about. I'm glad you said that. There are guys like Trey Sermon out there that could end up on this team. I wouldn't be shocked.
Me neither.
We'll find out soon because they're going to start signing guys off the street here pretty quickly. So I think the way the NFL works is a guy that gets cut like Sermon, if they wait till after week 1 and then sign them, their contracts aren't fully guaranteed. So that's usually when you see them start picking up these guys. And Mac's another guy. He's on a practice squad. He can get stolen. if a team like Washington wants to come in and just grab them off their practice squad, that can happen. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Great show.
Awesome.
Wrapping up all the divisions. Next week, your draft start. If you're not doing it this weekend, you're doing it right before the Thursday games. We're going to try to get another show out before Thursday of next week so that you guys can enjoy some Fantasy Sports Island and prepare for your drafts. We appreciate your support. We ask that you hit that like button, subscribe if you like the content, hit that notification bell because we do this every week. I want to thank my boy, Johnny Ballgame.
Aloha. Thanks, boys. Thanks. Always
Excellent
fun.
stuff. Good job tonight, John. On point. Thank you for breaking down all the teams for us. Tony Sir Poops a lot. Oh, look at the guns.
Yes. Piper.
Love it. Love it. So sexy. So
Remember
sexy.
that.
And as always, the Reaper, Chucky. Thanks for always bringing us, keeping us center, man. Keeping us right there.
Yes,
in the middle.
exactly.
It's like
For the
Clemens
kids, Johnny. For the kids.
Cat. That's right.
All right. Thank you for watching Fantasy Sports Island. We'll see you next week. Aloha.
Tune in next week for another episode of Fantasy Sports Island.